Hi YouTube. I wanted to get this video up as early as I could. Two reasons. I was sabotaged. If it isn't one person, it's another that dark force crap uses, and I'll get into that in a minute. But today is going to be a difficult one for me because I have to write a finding homes for them little cats, so it's going to be hard to do. In one way, they're really irritating and a lot of work, and in another way, I'll miss them with all my heart, so it's going to be hard either way. But, well, I was right not to get too close to Doug again. I mean, it's just the little things like, last night, you know how people have differing aspects to what they do and share for other people, and what their passions are and how they think they're helping the world, isn't always the same as somebody else. Hopefully I've found some like-minded people that are concerned about the same type of things and talk about the same type of things. Like, I like to talk about theology, religion, and psychology, and psychosis in people, and that type of thing, and the study of the human mind and heart and soul, and how it all works together. Last night I was listening to some psychology. About halfway through, Doug came in my room. Just a minute. He knocked. Just a sec. And then asked me if I wanted to see a video that he was watching on. He started talking about the airplane's elevation, and I go, no, I'm not going into this, what shape the planet is. I don't care. Then pretty soon, it's because I do not care what shape people think the planet is. I mean, yes, if they lied to us about one thing, they've lied to us about many things. And that's up to each person's determination, or, how they view that or decipher that for themselves. But not all of our passions lie in just like what the government is doing and what NASA's doing and that type of thing. To me, these are just psyops. Although they're true to a certain point, they're to keep people's minds off of the real things that we should be talking about in the planet. How and I'll get to that too. But so anyway, so pretty soon I didn't love anybody, and because I didn't want to share this video, and I didn't care about the kids, and I what else was it? It was he was the one that told me about the fuel isn't actually even used in a jet airplane, that they use the air with the turbines once they're up there. And I kind of knew some of that anyway. My ex was in the Air Force. He knew a little bit about jets, but and worked at an airport for a while. And I'm a little, and I used to go to air shows and things like that. So, I mean, I understand a little bit about aviation, maybe even more than people that think they do, but I let it go. But it was disturbing, and the thing is, whenever I have and this is psychological somehow, and it's weird, but it could be one or two things. It was either that I made a giant salad, enough for a couple of days, because today I had cottage cheese with some last night, as my meal, and today I wasn't going to eat any fish because we've got some catfish fillets, but I was going to cook it for Doug. Was going to, but I don't let people rob my energy and then do things for them after that. So as far as I'm concerned, the cats can eat it. So anyway, whenever I have a big bunch of food or he's set, it used to be, I think, and I asked him, have you ever swept your house? Have you ever dusted your house or washed the walls or anything in this house ever? You know, I guess I have seen him sweeping, but mm, only if he has to. I used to help even do those, like in immediate mess or something. No. So, but anyway, so it was disturbing. And it was intentional because, like I say, he hears the voice of somebody else talking about human nature and God and making sense out of all the lies that were put in the scriptures and how they keep us enslaved with language. And I'm gathering people that see language skills as the ultimate thing, because if we don't know what the monster's saying, like if it says, I've used this before, but like a man after your heart. Well, what's he after your heart for? You know, it's all these languages and the way they use them, that type of thing. My hair's getting caught in my chair again. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, I didn't sleep the greatest, and it was pretty unpleasant, but I'm glad I didn't get, I mean, I'd love to be close to somebody and feel like I love them and that they love me, but it only goes, I can only match their energy. I'm not going to exert um, extra where it isn't warranted, you know. So, cheers, everybody. Hope you have a nice week ahead. I intend to, one way or another. Usually alone, aside from the people that I socialize with on here. I don't feel like even this estranged marriage is actually like company or a relationship. It when it feels like, if I get an ill vibe and it becomes more like a battleground than a companionship and working together. If it works where it takes my energy away from doing things for both of us, it isn't the both of us anymore. I'm all of a sudden the orphan I've always been, you know, which is fine with me in this screwed up world, you know. So I'm listening to a young lady called Out of the Darkness. I've seen her before on another channel that she had some time ago, but she's talking about the narcissist mother that she has that also evidently has a drinking problem. Those two things do not mix. But, well, the person that raised me, she had a class addiction. She thought because she was Eastern Star and married to a Jesuit Mason that she was higher in society than me or anybody else, you know, even her husband. I don't know, she's still a trip, a 90-year-old trip, but whatever. But once they instill, well, a poor parent will condition you not to excel above them because they're low vibing and they don't ever want you to reach the pinnacles of uh, ascending to God, because they're not willing to do that. They do not want to do that. They're living in the flesh. They enjoy this painful existence. And it's not always painful, don't get me wrong, and it really shouldn't be. But the way this world is right now, and to me, the tolerance and the acceptability of things that just are not appropriate, the two things just don't go together. It's like when you have people with an extremely filthy mouths and attitudes around like your infant, you start making decisions as a parent who to keep and who to cut out of your life for the sake of that child. Because I'm talking about totally demented people I've been around that will make light of saying things like they want to eat me or beat me or treat me lesser than whatever it is. I've heard some really wicked, weird things out of these people that I guard myself from and have tried to guard my children from. And if I had had a choice of knowing the truth of who they were when I was a little kid, I tried to run away when I was 5. That was a little bit young. And then when I did finally take them to court and get emancipated, and I was able to act as an adult at 17, that was the best course for me. I'm around somebody like, he's a man, he's got a car, he's got abilities. Even when he was like 15 or something, he's like, I couldn't go anywhere. I had to stay there because why? Because you wanted to whine at me about it, like 72 years later, still tell me how bad you had it when you could have done the same thing I did. Whatever. I don't know. I don't think people can make a comparison out of being around total deviates and people that were into child predation and that type of thing. And a lot of things that I didn't even recognize when I was younger that I know now exactly what it is, but didn't know then, didn't know how they were conditioning me to stay slave-minded and stay subservient to them and lesser than in their eyes. If I hadn't woken up out of that, I'd be like them. So that's what I'm battling. I'm battling first being conditioned to accept things that I shouldn't have never tolerated. But I didn't know any better because that is all I knew. But now that I do know better, I'm not tolerating anything. Because the tricksters and the liars, they'll say anything to get their way. And they really don't like a narcissist mindset. They don't want to let you go, at least not on your terms, if it's on their terms with their decision, especially if they have a replacement to put their abuses on to, like another child or another somebody, male or female, that will give them the attention that they seek, whether it's in a bad relationship or what. That's what they thrive on. So, yeah. So I was absolutely right on not getting too close because I would have been hurt. I used to cry. Now it's like, what used to take me maybe a month or a week or something to get over that devastation, it takes me moments. It's like, okay, it's just another time, just one more time. Why don't you prove to me how low you feel about me just one more time? Because I didn't get it the first time, you know. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. You would think that talking to people's hearts and assuring them that well, language. You would think that language and language skills would be utmost right now in people's minds for the understanding of the things that are written in our government, in our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, in the scriptures, everything. It's all about language and symbols, yeah, but language for real, you know. Did any of you look any further into those dragon lines, the ley lines, serpent lines, and the monoliths and the different things that I've told you could be used with the ether electronically through the electronics within our system? Mind to skull technology is a real thing, and so is witchcraft. It's all very real. You know, there's people now, probably more than, there's more wicked people than there are decent people. That's my outlook. It's not that there aren't decent people or they don't have potential to be those decent people, but people are more apt to display their wickedness, at least around me, from what I've observed, than they are any pleasantries, you know. Yeah, I think Satan's got a pretty good stronghold. It's not that we're not waiting for him to be loose. He's been loose. He's been doing his job, whatever he thinks his job is. So, some people think evil is necessary. I'm not one of them. Some people think that there needs to be darkness in order to be light. Still not one of them, you know. But I mean, my mind could change sometime. I heard that Charles Reagan Swindle made a statement that I've heard before, and well, it's true. In order to see the flawlessness of a diamond, you have to hold it in front of a black background, or you'll see like display cases. A lot of times will have like black velvet. And it's true. You can see the gems better in the dark. But we're talking spiritual and not physical. So, I mean, to earn our eternal bodies, in essence, to realize and to deny the physical as our reality is what we're actually meant to do. As odd as that seems, we're given the choice, and then after that we're given more than what we have here, with the peace and joy to come along with it. And those of us that have been brutalized and terrorized in a lot of ways. It's hard for us to see the good in the world, but I know it's out there. I mean, I know people are, there's many of us that do have good hearts and care about other people. but most people truly only care about themselves. So, and to me, arguing about what shape the planet is isn't really going to do you or I any good of how you're feeling today, what you're going through with your loved ones in these chaotic times, you know. It's like, no, that's just not going to cut it for me for some reason, although it's interesting. And I believe the proof. Okay, there you go. That's fine. It's just not my thing to talk about. I have other issues in this world, like stopping the narcissistic, psychopathic mindsets that people are being trained to tolerate like it's no big deal. It's absolutely a huge deal. It's everything. Why would we want to be around people that make us feel sick? You know, we wouldn't. You know, if people don't share the love out of themselves, or if they don't have that in themselves to share, and they're loners like that, well, it's kind of like throwing good money after bad. It's kind of like helping the devil do his bad deeds and overlooking the poor behavior. It's not going to do me any good. I mean, the only good I'm going to get out of this world is the people that recognize that type of thing and are talking about the same things and analyzing the situation and coming to conclusions on how we can avoid and protect ourselves from these, what I call monsters, that are energy thieves, and keeping happy within ourselves and not letting them steal our joy, you know, because that is that's the ulterior motive. They're so miserable and they pretend to be happy people, but they don't smile, they don't sing or dance, or, you know what I mean? There's just no the essence of joy in them. I mean, they might sing or dance, but you know what I mean. I think you do. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sort of not. I mean, I'm glad I've gathered the strength to guard my feelings. It's not 100% protection. It still stunts my growth when something like that happens to me, or people that tell me when I don't love or I don't care, when it couldn't be further from the truth. And they know me. They know this. Um, I don't know how it makes them feel better about who they are, but somehow that's what they need to do to feel better in the world. I will never actually get it. It is called psychological behavioral deformity. Uh, some mental illnesses are brought on from abuse and trauma. Some are brought on from alcohol and drug abuse, or the combination of all of that. Um, what do you think? Are people born satanic, or is this a decision that they make? Is it a head injury that causes a psychopath, or the actual act of being cruel? You know, sadistic, sadism. Yeah. When you start out and you have a sadistic mother, like this woman I'm listening to right now, um, that's the worst because it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Is then when I met my birth mother, because I was adopted, and then I met the my birth mother was just like the one who had raised me, maybe worse in some ways. Um, that tripped me out. What tripped me out worse was my siblings that well, I did have one sister, one of my youngest sisters, that moved out of the house when she was 12. She moved next door. Um, but I don't know, the acceptance of poor behavior, the ignorance, the ignoring it, and just like it's normal or tolerable or these types of things. Even like with my adoptive brother and the way he was conditioned to be a mini monster and grew up into a giant one, a full-fledged narcissistic, satanic pedophile. I mean, these things these people do and accept out of each other and in public and around each other, it's so disgusting to me. And there's always something with these people, and you can meet them and you can think, well, that person's a little bit off, and then when you see how they interact with like their siblings or their parents or whoever, and you think to yourself, you know it's not right, and they don't seem to care. And for me, when I was younger, I just couldn't figure it. It just didn't. I couldn't grasp that in my mind, how so much of the world could be so full of this mindset like that of tolerance, now knowing that they tolerate each other because, like I say, the sins of the forefathers, they don't do their shadow work. They don't look into the faults of their parents, and the parents don't look into the faults of their children. Well, they may, because they might be the head narcissist in the family with their flying monkeys or codependents, who, however we want to word this, working for them or identical to them, not actually their own person, but an extension of the original narcissist. There's no separation in those families. They're all like one living organism of ickiness. But I can't join in. I'm not. Well, it's not that they won't accept me. It's just I can't accept them like that. I can't. I'm not doing it. I've just seen too much of it. I can't go back into toleration where it's too painful. It's like, no, people don't act like this. This isn't how the world was meant to be. And I'm not going to become a part of it like that through tolerance and ignorance. I'm going to look at who raised me, love them for their good points, and recognize the bad stuff that they tried to instill in me, and not become a part of them, but actually my own being with more sense than God gave them, evidently. So I do like one thing Lionel Nation used to say is most people have the attention span of a gnat. That's true. I've noticed, it's like a TikTok culture. If you can cram in what you want to express in like one sentence, people will gravitate towards that because they think they're learning the essence of something or somebody or whoever they follow within snippets. It's not that there can't be good snippets of information that people have or expressing themselves. Like I saw another lady my son had shared, she was talking about the school system and different things. She had written a book on, I haven't read, but evidently on the conditioning system that it is, you know. So, well, I'm going to get this uploaded, and I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, I figured I was going to be attacked. I didn't know when, but I'm just glad that I didn't start, like, getting all soapy and playing love songs for people, hoping that it was a real thing in my life, because it just isn't. I mean, I'm sure some of you that watch me love me, and I love you too. I probably watch you too, so we have that in common. And you've probably been abused also. Hopefully you didn't marry into abuse, but if you did, my heart goes out to you. It's things we don't recognize that we were conditioned into. And yeah, the Great Awakening is doing the shadow work not only on ourselves, but realizing what was done not only to our parents, but how accepting are your parents of the wicked ways in this world, and how important was it for them to protect you from all that. It's the things we ask ourselves as we go into the world as younger people, become parents, and trying to do the best that we can. Some of us, and that's a little narcissistic in itself, but some of us, when we have children, do hope that our children excel beyond us, not to the point where they look down on us because of what we taught them or what they're going to learn or know, because each person knows things that another person isn't going to know, that it's like a secret between you and God, you know, that type of feeling. He gives you insights to things that nobody else gets, because that's just personal for you. And I believe that with all my heart, and that's why in that sense we're created equal. What we do with it after that, that's entirely up to us. But if you're honorable, you deserve honor. If you're not, I'm not going to humble myself before trash. It just doesn't work like that in my book. I treat people how they treat me, and I'm not going to be like a dirty leader waiting for somebody to pounce on me because I'm trash. I'm going to be that good leader, and I'm not going to allow you to pounce on me because you're trash. And that's the way it is in my heart, in my eyes. So, okay, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Like I said, hang in there if you've got a mother that is mindless, heartless, maybe soulless. There are real people out here that love each other. Find them, gather with them, and that's the true army of God. I don't believe it can be found in a church, but if you're doing that, best wishes, because in all the Zionist and Judaism and Christianity, Satan is in this church, and it says in the scriptures that Christ cannot be found there. Just a word to the wise, everybody. So I love you all. Peace from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.